What is it that's holding you back? Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of success? And yes, that is a real thing and more common than fear of failure. Is there something emotional going on in you where you don't believe in yourself? Are you afraid that people aren't going to like you? I've heard that today. Here's what I want to say to all of you in this room. I've gotten a chance pretty much to talk to each and every one of you at one point or another. You are all amazing. And I'm not just saying that. When you look in the mirror every day, you need to remind yourself that who you are right now is enough just as you are. It is. And I'm going to say that to you because I had to come to head with that 5 years ago when I moved. I had to look at myself in the mirror because I had doubts about myself and I was scared to death that I was going to fail. But I was also scared I was going to succeed. And what did that look like? Was it going to change me? Was I going to become somebody ugly inside because I was successful? Because I had had an ego before in my life and I needed to be careful of that. And so people are very afraid of that. Is it going to change me? And I had to look at myself in the mirror and look at the ugly truth about myself and face myself and forgive myself for the different things that had occurred in my life and that I allowed into my life. And I'm speaking this to you right now because many of you over the last 2 days have come up to me and talked to me about this. And I love that you guys are opening up and telling me what's really going on in your world. So I really need you to start looking at the positives about yourself and being your authentic self, because people know when you're not being you. And they're not going to trust you because you're not being you. How can you trust you if you're not being you? So stop trying to be somebody else and just be you. People will like you because you're you. So remember that when you're out there and when you're talking to people. And if you start to try to put on this face or act like something that you're not, stop. Just stop it. Be you. And if they don't like you, that's on them. Stop being afraid of the rejection, because the bottom line is this: we are out there with people and not everybody is going to like you. And the sooner you face that fact, the more you will be free to be who you are. And guess what happens? More people will like you because you're you, and they can tell. So please focus on that this week as you guys are reflecting and really identify what it is that's holding you back, because everybody is here because they need something. They need to be better at what they're doing. And until you get real with yourself, you're never going to get there. And that's the reality. And I know that's harsh, but it's real. And we all have to go through it. Any other thoughts from this morning that you would like to bring out? Things that kind of occurred to you or anything before we move forward? Yes, George. There's a great title for a book out there called Stop Telling and Start Selling. Horrible book. Don't buy it. I use the title all the time. Sometimes your knowledge is more in your way. Why do you feel the need to tell them everything that you know? Ego. Ooh, that's harsh too. Why do you feel the need to tell them everything that you know? It's ego. You're trying to prove that you're good enough. Well, guess what? You're good enough just as you are. Just be you. And that ties right into it, right? Because when we're just oversharing and oversharing and oversharing and trying to prove our value, what happens is the people on the other side are looking at you and they're like, why do you have to tell me how awesome you are? Usually people in the room that are telling you how awesome they are the people that really are nothing at all. And most people know that. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
I find that mindset is what keeps people from becoming who they really are. What were some of the things that you did, daily to change your mindset to become who you are now?
I did all of the exercises in the book that everybody is purchasing, and that's why they're in the book. I had to look in the mirror, face the ugly truths about myself, take ownership of the things that had occurred in my life, even though they were done by other people, because the reality was I allowed those people into my life. Why? Because I was just as sick as they were. And once I came to terms with that and started looking at the ugly truth about myself, then I had to forgive myself. And that was a lot harder than forgiving everybody else. Because we don't like to forgive ourselves. We like to hold ourselves to a different standard of, we're worth nothing. And once I overcame that and literally burned every name of every person that ever hurt me and told them that I forgave them in business, in love, in family, whatever, the last name that I burned and said, you have no power over me anymore, was myself. I wrote my name down. And I looked in the mirror and I looked at that person that I used to be. And I said, you have no power over me anymore. I am different. And I choose who I am. I choose to be successful. I choose to love, and I choose to love myself before anybody else. Because if I don't love myself, then I can't love anybody else. That helps me in business. It helped me serve my clients more because I felt more comfortable. I felt more confident. I decided it didn't matter if people liked me or not. If they didn't like me, they can move on. It's not my problem. 99.9% of the time, it's not my problem anyway. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with them. Whether they're jealous, whether they're intimidated, it doesn't matter. And you guys have haters out there. The more successful you get, the more haters you will have. And why is that? Because they're intimidated by you, because they're jealous of your success. I have haters out there. You know what? I don't care because I'm going to be me. And I'm going to bring it all to you guys because I want you to be you and I want you to be successful. And that's all part of that transformation of being an awesome salesperson. And when you walk into a sales room and there's the loud guy in the corner or the loud girl in the corner telling you how amazing they are, what do you think? How are you feeling about that? You're like, you're not really all that. That's how people are looking at you when you do that. So if you're not connecting with people over and over and over again, it's time to look within yourself and figure out what the problem is. Why are you coming off as not authentic? Because people can feel it. And if you don't believe in yourself, they can feel it. So why should they believe in you if you don't believe in you? It's reality. And think about the people around you who are the people that want you to believe in them and you don't, and why. Don't be them. Be different. And that's what this whole thing is about. How do we be different and stand out and have that confidence? Because in order to be a great real estate agent and truly service your clients and get to them, it's the confidence that you have when they walk in the door where you are just totally comfortable with yourself and you're comfortable with your knowledge and you know who you are. Now, those analyticals in the room, I don't want you to look at that knowledge and say, well, yeah, I need to learn more because I just need to be more confident before I can go out and do an open house. No. You're going to learn as you go. And if you make mistakes, you're going to apologize. You're going to make mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes, ton of mistakes. Still, to this day, I'll make a mistake. Guess what I do? I pick up the phone and I own it. Own your mistakes. Don't be afraid because that mistake won't happen again. And here's the bottom line. You have to fail first before you can succeed. The faster you fail, the faster you can succeed. The more you fail, the more you can succeed. Because every time you fail, you learn. So is it really a failure? Not really. So don't be afraid of it. Make mistakes. It's okay. It's going to happen. You're going to sit at your open houses and you're going to try to remember all of this. And you're not going to. So we are going to put together a way to put this event on YouTube and give you guys access for a week to review. I haven't told Mariah that yet, but that's what we're going to do. You guys are going to have it for a week, maybe 2. You are not to share it with anybody else, and I'm trusting you. Don't try to record it, have a whole group there. Don't do it. I'll find you. But you're not going to remember everything. And there are going to be days that you walk out of your open house or you walk away from a client and you're like, I totally missed that. I missed it. I should have had that person. I messed up. And you're going to want to beat yourself up. And then I need you to hear my words in your head with my voice saying, it's okay. Did you learn something? Are you going to do that again? Or are you going to correct it? And you're going to say to yourself, I'm going to correct it. And then you're going to move on and you're not going to do it again. That is life. So stop being so darn hard on yourself and stop being afraid to try. You're afraid to try because you're afraid to fail. Go fail. Go do it. Go fail. Go mess up. And then forgive yourself. Say you're not going to do it again and move on. And learn something from it. Every transaction is going to be different for those of you that are new in the room. You're going to make mistakes and you're going to own it to your clients and you're going to own it to the other agent. And guess what? They're going to forgive you because they like you, because you're authentic and you're yourself. And they know that humans make mistakes. If you don't own it, that's where you get into trouble. So just own it. Just say, you know what? I messed up. I thought it was this way. It wasn't. I apologize. I'm fixing it. And they will forgive you. Any questions before we move on? Yes. She's running.
You are an active agent, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know as like being new in the business, you get to see, especially coming into EXP, we all know how successful George has been, and it's intimidating. You're like, you'll never be there. You'll never get that. Or like it seems so far away.
Okay.
How many transactions do you do a year?
Me personally?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know. This year I'm at 11. It's all been referrals. Yeah. Without trying, I do about 15.
15.
Mhm.
What do you, how about on average for your agents underneath you?
We have typically about 5 agents on the team. We do over 100 transactions a year.
Okay.
And they mess up all the time. Yeah, they do. And you know what? They call me, they're freaking out. And I'm like, why are you freaking out? I'm not going to yell at you. Did you learn something? Yeah. You going to do that again? No.
And it's
You going to
all-
go back out tomorrow and do it all over again? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all of it is through the process that you're giving us.
Yes. And I've been asked today, how did I develop the process? So I'm going to answer that really quick and then we have a lot to cover. Okay. How I developed the process was I got into the business. I have an extensive background in sales training. And I noticed that even people that had an extensive background in sales training didn't know how to translate that into real estate sales. They may have had sales processes in the past. They just didn't know how to move it to real estate. So they weren't succeeding. So people kept joining my team and they were not doing well at first. I was looking at them and I'm like, you have it. You have the personality. You have the drive. You have that. Like, why is this not working for you? So I started going and watching them. That was fun because they get really nervous when I'm around and they freak out and they don't actually do their steps. So that was kind of hard. So I finally had them start calling me and telling me about every person that came in and how they handled it. And what I realized was they had no idea how to narrow people down and hone them in and close them. They had no idea. Nobody had ever taught them. I even had timeshare people come onto my team and they couldn't translate this into that. And I'm like, how is that possible? You have like the best training in sales ever in the world. They couldn't figure out how to put it into real estate. It's the same thing. Once you know how to sell, you know how to sell. It doesn't matter what it is. You just got to put it into a process. So I finally told them, okay, I'm going to put this into a process because I want to help you get to be more like where I am, because it really bothers me that I'm supposed to be responsible for you and I'm not getting you there. So I'm going to fix this. So I put together the steps. It was just by chance. I was like, I think this will work. Wow, did it work? They went bananas. All of a sudden, it was my first year. We were like 6 months in. All of a sudden, they're winning award after award after award the first year because of the steps and because of the extra training that I added on top of it. And now I have to give this training to them at least twice a year to keep them current and relevant and moving forward because they forget. This is an evolution of time. You will get better and you will get better and you will get better. And when you are in a slump, you are going to want to quit. You're going to be like, oh, the business has changed. Clients aren't the same anymore. It's always everybody else's fault. It's never ours. It's a lot easier to blame them or Open Door that you didn't get the listing or all the other iBuyers out there. Nope, the industry is changing. I just don't think it's for me anymore, because that's easy. The hard part is looking at yourself and saying, you know what, you got off the beaten path. We got to go back to the steps. We got to go back to the basics, and we got to start all over again, because that's what made me successful. And that is the conscious successful, when you know why you're being successful. That's how you get back on track. You're going to have highs. You're going to have lows. It's going to keep going up and down the whole time. That is the business. You have busy seasons. You have slow seasons, just like we do. You identify it. Don't give the excuse, it's slow season. Of course, I didn't get any transactions this month. That's a lie you're telling yourself to get yourself off the hook. In our slow season, summer, August, in Arizona with humidity and 112, really fun. We sold 22 properties before COVID in August, and everybody in the Valley was calling and asking what the heck we were doing. And I said, well, I had them go through Go for No training. That's what happened. They're like, are you feeding them Wheaties? Like, what are you doing? Like, no, I had to get them back in the picture, because they were making excuses for themselves based on slow season, and that's not acceptable. So I gave them a new training to get them reignited, and here we are. And that's all it takes. You've got to find the way to keep yourself motivated. You've got to find the way to keep something in front of you that you want, that goal that's achievable. You've got to reward yourself along the way, because if you're only working and you're not enjoying, then the working and the money becomes not important, because you're not enjoying anything. So why are you doing all of this? Go on a vacation, a little mini vacation every month. Reward yourself. Go on 2 vacations a year. Plan it. However you reward yourself. For women out there that like Gucci and whatever, you know what? If I sell a property and make this much commission, I'm buying a new Gucci purse. Reward yourself. That's how you stay motivated. Figure out your why. Why do you do this? Why do you work so hard? What is it that you want? What is it that makes you tick? Is it your family? Is it financial freedom? Is it George's goal of being on a yacht 6 months out of the year? What is it? And keep that motivation in your mind at all times. Plant pictures around your house, in your car, anything, so that you're reminded of why you put in the work and why you're working so hard. If you don't do that, you're going to burn out, you're going to crash, and you're going to go do something else. I'm here to give you longevity in this business. George is here to give you longevity in this business. Tony's here to give you longevity in this business. I have friends in this room that have been in real estate 19 years, 20 years, 25 years. We're still here. I've had my license 21 years. We're still here. Did I do general real estate that whole time? No. Do I like general real estate better than anything else I did? Yes. Why? Because I make a difference in people's lives every day. That's my why. That's my purpose. What is yours? If you don't know what it is, it's time you figure it out, because that's going to be your motivating factor to push you forward. And for those of you in the room that are not doing open houses and you're telling me that you want to succeed, I want a commitment from you today when you're going to do your first one. I want to know when. I already have one commitment in the room that it will be the week after this next weekend. I have another commitment in the room that it's this next weekend. Yep. Let me ask you a question. How are you going to meet people if you're not doing open houses? Real estate is a popularity contest. It's all about how many people you meet. That's what it is. So where else can you go that you're going to get warm bodies in front of you that are actually looking at houses? It's crazy. That's your business. And they're giving you their information and ask you to contact them. It's not really that hard. You go, you put out your signs, you show up, you set up, you start talking to people. So why are you afraid? Do it and you'll get there. You'll definitely get there. So the people next to you, you've become friends this week. If you didn't know them before, make a commitment to each other. When are you going to do your first one and hold each other accountable? I can't hold you all accountable and I don't want to. But you know, you need to hold each other accountable. Because in this room, we have now become a family of realtors who want to succeed. And I want to see that. Doesn't matter what company you're with, doesn't matter what group you're with. This is really up to you. So it's time you hold yourself accountable as well.